Welcome back, everybody. We are having our second attempt to rebuild the lobby for the race at our 10th race of the season. This is Adrenaline Racing League. My name is Webbo. I'm here as your commentator, and we're going to head straight into the race with Branch on pole, with Ronan in second place, Etten in third, and the other McLaren in fourth position. We're going to have to get going super quickly. And I will try and give you this. I think it was it Rents who was in fourth position. Sorry about that. We'll be underway very shortly for you. And patience, please, while I reorganise the game screen. It's very difficult to do on the starting light procedure. We should have ourselves a race on our hands very soon for you, and let's hope third time's a charm for everybody. Here we go then. Looks like race lights on, and it's away we go with Branch struggling away from the line slightly. Etten getting away comfortably. And it looks like Branch looking vulnerable to the inside, but Etten's going to try and make the best start of everybody. Boxing out the McLaren. Branch is nerfed sideways, and it's a battle in the top two between Etten and Ronan down into turn two. They can go too wide here, but Etten going super late on the brakes. Looks like he was going to take control, but it's actually Ronan who gets ahead. Wongfi, I think, demoted down to fourth as Branchmanch. Terrible start, down to sixth position, and hopefully he'll be picking things back up again. Rents with a mistake and dropping down the order very quickly. Unfortunately, looks like he's down right in the tail of the order, and we have soft runners almost universally in the top 10. It was just Amaryl who started further down. Of course, the driver's getting pretty desperate to make moves straight away. Off the line. They know this track, they know its characteristics, and they're hoping for a better performance as much as possible. It looks like Wongfi, who's quick at this point on the track, but ARL33 following behind Amaryl and looking to try and make a move as Amaryl. Oh, he's unseated from that, potentially from that move that ARL made in his mirrors, and Amaryl spinning off to the right hand side of the left-hander, and you don't want that. Ronan fastest lap 23.016 further up the grid. Let's go back up to the front because Etten and Ronan continue to fight. Ronan's gone around the outside, Etten's now on the outside of turn two, and we're back doing exactly what we were doing before, following line astern on the way through turn three now. For the second time, we've got a yellow flag in sector one. We've got a McLaren in the pits. Looks like Rent suffered a bit of damage as Etten running wide on the way through turn four. Gathering the car back together again, but he's going to tempt Ronan to make a move, and all of this struggling and fighting has caused Wongfi to close up to just 0.2 of a second behind Ronan. He has to follow him through this section. There's no way through, but will he be close enough as they head towards turn 12? It all depends on his run through this corner here. Turn 11, he does look pretty good. Going in, we'll get a nice helicopter shot as we drive into turn 12, and the top three make that the top six cars, all separated within a second of the car in front as they're about to get DRS awarded for the first time. 35 laps we have for you, and Etten with a new fastest lap out there in the lead. But Ronan on the attack. He'll get DRS coming out of the next straight, I believe. Or will he have to wait till... I hate this camera angle that we get. No, I think he's having to wait until the next detection point on the way into turn 14. So away we go. In through to finish off the first sector of this third lap, with Etten leading from Ronan. Wongfi Art has made it up there to fourth. Branch is regathering himself, and he's back up into fifth now. Branch, of course, had the pace in qualifying. He was our pole sitter. Blink and you miss it at the start of this coverage. So the gap's just opening slightly here on the soft tyres. All the soft runners definitely making better moves and being able to get on top of their car better than the medium runners. That was a lot different a picture just a few laps prior. Branch Manch down 4 places. All the medium runners have dropped down. Ivan's moved up, but within the medium group. So we have a list of top 9 or 10 cars, all on soft tyres, getting away from the rest of the grid at the moment. As Ronan with DRS tries to make a move, it's not quite working. Branch is going around the outside here of Art, but will Ronan have another opportunity going into turn 2? Not quite. He knows how late Ayrton wanted to break through those corners previous lap. But very much Art now trying to hold off Branch Manch and his resurgence through the field. Ronan looking impatient as they head towards turn 6 and 7 chicane. We get to stare at an empty track for a while, unfortunately. But Ronan is half a second back, and we'll just see how easily he can stay behind through this section of the lap. Heading down to turn 12 now. This is where it's very important to get as close as possible to the car in front, often taking a wider entry for a narrow exit and getting a better grip through the corner. Of course, your rival ahead of you knows this, and there was exactly the opposite. Narrow entry, wide exit for Ronan, who starts the straight 3.5 tenths slower, and making a defensive move to the inside, and that just discouraged Ronan slightly. Ronan then second bite of DRS as they head towards turn 2, but just not close enough, unfortunately. Even though Ayrton goes slightly wide through the corner, there's no way through. It's such a narrow circuit. But Wangfi coming up behind the McLaren soon, and Ronan's going to have to be looking in his mirrors as well as looking ahead. Ashtube, typically an aggressive start, looking lively behind the other driver, behind Art here. And Ivan with a 3-second penalty, the second penalty awarded out there tonight. Ronan can close really tight to the back of Ayrton through this second sector, but it's all about how difficult it is to stay with them through the end of the final sector and the start of the first sector. A 3-second time penalty for the Beast. Will anybody decide this is the moment to go into the pits? Wangfi does. Wangfi pits, deciding to do the opposite of the 2 cars ahead, and so does Branch, and they both pit now with ARL, Ashtube, the teammates. I was going to say staying out, but no, just ARL has stayed out with Ashtube, Art, Branch Manch and Wangfi all deciding to get rid of the soft tyres right now. Mediums going on for Wangfi and Branch. Yeah, no one wants to touch the hards around this circuit. It's very, very difficult. Rents put them on immediately after his early trip with the through the pits after that incident on lap 1. But apart from that, the drivers have gone on to mediums, perhaps somewhat ahead of schedule. So a difficult run for many of the drivers here to try and get through to the end on those medium tyres. Let's have a quick evaluation then of the penalty situation. 3 seconds each for Alex, Ivan and Alexis Beast. And in terms of positions changed, Alex and Ivan up 9 and 7 places respectively. Branch has gone down 7, but there are 4 cars at the head of the field who have not pitted. So that will be reduced once the pit stops work their way out, and all the soft runners, of course, will absolutely have to start again on their have to go into the pits and restart their race from the pit lane. Whereas the medium runners will try and stretch this one. Got an update here from AJ, who says the front left is overheating for both of the Red Bulls. In fact, so much so that ARL is going to take a really difficult safety car penalty pit sequence here. This is really going to affect him. Into the pits he comes, second pit box of course. And I think that's mediums going on, is it? For him, yes, medium tyres. He'll be able to catch the back of the field, but he's given up, of course, all the track positions. So the top 6 on their start tyres, as well as position 8. Everybody else is pitted for new mediums. And ARL just ragging those tyres in order to get back. Get some heat into them immediately. So yeah, that front left issue is creating big problems for the Red Bull team. Not quite sure how they've had that setup issue. I wonder if they've collaborated on setup, have they? Or is there something wrong with the way the mechanics have set up those cars this week? Ayrton leads from Ronan, and these two guys, of course, have been leading from the very start when they both contributed to the elbowing out of Branch through turn 1 and 2. Amaral moves up to third. He was the medium starter in the top 10. Then Alex and Ivan both refusing the opportunity to pit, being on those fairly young mediums. And now we will start a new safety car restart. It's going to happen now. So the front 2 will have slightly better grip getting away, but will need to gap the field very quickly, and could do with working together really to get there. But AJ predicting that the soft runners are going to struggle. I guess it's going to depend on their setup. Away then from the rest of the field, as it seems to have caught Amaral slightly out, as he's a long way back from the front 2, who get that initial grip on the car from the soft tyres, and they head into turn 1 looking a little bit more cautious this time out. No one making a move, possibly Art having a look here. He's very close. Did that look like a bump and run on the Mercedes of Beast, as Wang Fei gets let by from his teammate Ivan, creating a 3-wide situation as they head towards turn 4. Branch just holding on there and getting through past Art, and his next target is Ivan ahead. Ronan has had a problem. A possible reset to track as his car appeared ghosted. I don't wish to cast aspersions, but it did look that way from Ronan's car, that he just suddenly appeared on the track in front of us. So that leaves Ayrton out in front, 1.5 seconds ahead of Amaral, who is less than a second ahead of Alex. Similar situation for Wang Fei in 4th. Oh, Senna says hi. Hi Senna, why aren't you here racing with us tonight? We needed you. But good to have you watching along nonetheless. So Alex chasing down now Amaral, the one soft runner left in the top 9 cars after that accident for Ronan, whatever it was that occurred. Ayrton with a good position on track, perhaps slightly less than good position in terms of strategy. Branch getting very close here behind the Ferrari of Ivan. These two have been racing together for a long time and know each other well, so let's see how they get through the corners here. Ivan getting a bit wide on the way out of 4. Branch very narrow on those much newer mediums. He's got a good advantage of grip right now, closing in. But Ivan, of course, always able to get the power down. Senna's hurt himself. Not for the first time. Senna has got himself injured. So get well soon, Senna. But I don't know. Stop playing football, maybe. It's race day. Branch very, very close. Swinging the car on a wider line into turn 13 now. Although he has got a car behind. It's strange to see Ivan decide to pit. Those mediums have only done 8 laps, so possibly they are they're a bit overworn. no problem with overuse in qualifying. Of course, he didn't qualify with us, and we've had to rebuild the lobby as well. So Branch into 5th now with that pit stop, and Branch making his way back up the grid in strategic alignment with Wong Fei ahead, Art behind, and Ashtube, as well as Rents. So on lap 10, Ayrton continues out there on the soft tyres. He's dropped about a second since the last time I looked at his end of the timing grid, so I think these tyres probably well past their best now. He'll be wanting to pit very soon, because 15 on the medium as the car gets lighter is a lot easier to handle than the 10 lap old softs he's on, and you saw him get all crossed up and wrong. Wong Fei and Alex. Wong Fei gets by Alex there. So amazing tyre deg we're seeing so far. This Hungaroring absolutely chewing up the tyres, as I think Ayrton has refused the pit lane despite losing so much time, losing 1.2 seconds on a single lap to Amiral, who now, with all the confidence in the world of a newly winning driver, who is now on a good strategic point. He's on 10 lap old mediums, just stretching away. Needs another 5 or 6 out of these to be comfortable on soft tyres at the end. But Amaral takes the lead on lap 11. We have a yellow flag in sector 2. That is Chaos Druid, living up to his name. Not the Druid part, but down there, Ayrton seriously struggling, and I do have to wonder whether refusing the pit lane on that last time round was a mistake. Time will tell, of course, but Ayrton with new tyres on will be able to recover, I'm sure. Alexis the beast has retired, unfortunately. Let's try and have a look at where that is. It's on the exit of turn 2, which we're about to approach here with the Chaos Druid. This could, of course, help our soft tyre runner. There he is. Not quite sure how that one went wrong, but it did nonetheless. So some drivers going on past the pit lane. What is Ayrton doing? Oh, thankfully we didn't get a safety car, but I can't understand why he's staying out another lap. He's so vulnerable now to cars around him. Ayrton has dropped down to 3rd place from 1st. He's obviously not confident about getting the medium tyres to the end from this point, but he's so slow at this stage and really struggling for grip. Branch is now, his next target is Alex in the Mercedes, and Branch is very, very close here. So Branch is watching Wong Fei pull away here, and that's his main rival at this point in the race. Branch needs to not let Wong Fei get too far ahead here. Branch looking slightly impatient, just taking different lines through the corners. Try not to lose the grip, or anticipate the loss of grip, I suppose, and oversteer into the corners. We've got Ivan with a penalty, a second penalty for him, unfortunately, but the majority of the front runners are out there. As finally now Ayrton pits with 17 to go. Ayrton pits presumably for a nice straightforward medium run. The Mercedes just using the opportunity to use a different part of the track and discourage a move there from Branch. Branch still 2 tenths behind Alex. Wong Fei just a similar gap now behind Amaral, who leads this race. Ronan has put in a fastest lap on a bit of a charge back through the field after whatever issue befell him. Unfortunately, I didn't catch it. Only caught his reappearing McLaren. A 5-second penalty for Ivan in the pits. Usually, yes, is it the indicator that a DNF and a retirement is on its way. And unfortunately, Ivan not able to continue tonight, so we have 11 runners left. Alex picks up a 3-second penalty and is dropping down the field. As he had an accident? Yes, he has. So that's released Branch, who can now unlock some of that pace he's been holding back. We have triple yellow sectors currently. Thankfully that's dropped down to just 2. Ayrton came out of the pits in P8 and is now past Alex. So Ayrton P8, 10 seconds off the car in front means he's got a nice opportunity to use those new tyres to their fullest and gain some race time back on the leader. The leader on lap 14 is still Amaral from Wangfi. Branch is in 3rd with Ashtube right behind him now. Branch not able to gap or maintain the distance to Ashtube here, slightly surprisingly given the pace he was being held at. Amaral struggling here, I guess, to generate a similar gap to Wangfi behind. Amaral on much older medium tyres, because he started on those mediums and it was quite a deliberate move by him. He qualified on the mediums, so correctly started the restarted lobby on the mediums as well. I wonder if any of our drivers are struggling around with default setups on as well, which is quite common when we've rebuilt lobbies, although we've had plenty of practice in it in doing this. So Amaral with a 4.5 gap here, start finish straight, and is hoping that his gap is enough. I suspect using a fair amount of ERS to try and dissuade a move from Wangfi, who has a second load of DRS down into the turn 2. Just nerfs him in the back, and perhaps a sign that Wangfi's getting a little overly impatient here. So we've got 10 laps to go. It'll be about time for any medium starters. The only one of those. Oh, Branch out of the session. What's happened, Branch? Where is Branch? There he is. A similar mistake perhaps, or spin on the way out of turn 5. We have our second safety car, and I think that should mean Amaral will come in for soft tyres. Everybody may well do that. We still have 20 laps to run. I think I was getting my lap counter wrong earlier. So 20 laps to run. Branch very annoyed, he's binned it. Yeah, we were looking forward, Branch, to your chase back through the field, and I'm sure we're about half as disappointed as you are to see you disappear from the race. Very frustrating, I'm sure. Amaral is coming into the pits, as is Wangfi behind. So interesting. I guess anybody on these older mediums is on their way in. So is Rents here. ARL has, wow, got that pretty wrong. He's reversing on the track. ARL, I can't imagine that that's within the rules. I'm sorry that I caught it for you on screen, but reversing on the track and driving into the pit lane after the pit lane entry line, slightly suspicious there. It looks like Ayrton overdid his delta, and he's now back up, having most recently pitted. Ayrton back up to P4. Ashtube out in 3rd place. Wow, okay, Ayrton thought he was going to take the car, but decided not to. I guess that's sensible. So your new order then is Amaral, who's come out on hard tyres. Wangfi in second. Amaral's going to be very vulnerable here to the medium runners behind him. Wangfi and Ashtube on brand new mediums. Ayrton not far behind on only 2-lap-old mediums, and then everybody else on newer tyres. Rent, Art, ARL, Ronan, with Chaos Druid so far refusing the pit lane on 5-lap-old mediums. Art with perhaps an interesting typo in the chat. AJ complaining that the car didn't stop. Yeah, certainly didn't, did it? But yes, Art saying that he, well, it was not necessarily a code brown moment, maybe a code yellow moment, when Branch spun in front of him. Ivan is struggling with motivation to come back and race. I'm sorry to say that. I'm sure you can come back strong and blow the field away when you're chilled out and have recovered from the disappointment. The whole of the field have caught up to the back of the safety car. So lap 17, the halfway point of our race, sees on a reduced safety car setup. We've already had 2 safety cars in the first half of the race. Amaral leads in the AlphaTauri, and he's behind the Mercedes safety car, of course. Wang Fei in second place in the Ferrari, followed by Ashtube, who's come up quite well through this race so far. Ashtube up 4 places, Amaral up 8 because of his strategy choice. Oh, Amaral gets a tag from Wang Fei, and Amaral has got somewhat of a unjust penalty as a result of being hit by Wang Fei and getting a severe collision penalty. So I would imagine Amaral, if he can get these hard tyres to the end and not pit, I imagine he will try and get that penalty removed. 4 places up for Ashtube, 1 down for Ayrton. Rents and Art somehow find themselves back where they started. ARL up 1, Ronan down 6, who was in second place, so it's been a bit of a difficult front row for our qualifiers tonight. Safety car will come in this lap and will be back underway for you. 5 seconds of penalties for Amaral should get removed. Wang Fei, Ashtube, Ayrton, Rents without penalty, and then you can see 3 seconds each for Art, ARL, and an 8-second penalty for Chaos Druid down there. So let's go back to the action as Amaral on hard tyres will have to try and start this race and defend from the cars in front. Everyone should have reasonably equal ERS. Ashtube with a great run here on the Ferrari, as has Ayrton as they scream down towards turn 1. The Ferrari just getting on the outside, Ashtube getting on the inside, and possibly Ayrton sneaking up even further up as well. Ayrton swaps around, gets past the Ferrari, goes down one of these dive bombs into turn 2, which went wrong for him earlier on. He's got the inside line going into turn 3. Will he hold on to it? Yes, he will. And Ashtube round the outside even holds on himself. He's now got the inside into the blind turn 4. Things go wrong when cars go side by side into here, but somehow they just about survive, and quite an amazing move there from Ayrton, going 2 places up in the space of 3 corners, and he's doing his best to give us plenty of action with the rest of this race. But wow, Ashtube dives back up the inside. They're going to go side by side through the switchback corners again. Ashtube getting up ahead again, and they're going to go towards turn 12. Ayrton dive down the inside and is trying to edge out Ashtube. These guys side by side almost the entire lap. I think Ashtube has picked up a penalty in this melee, but currently Ayrton just slightly behind as they head up onto the start-finish straight, and he'll get DRS. He'll get the first bite of DRS. He doesn't even need it right now, as he's almost slammed into the pit wall, a la Schumacher and Barrichello, and they continue to fight. No DRS here, of course. Ashtube gets out on the outside, low grip part of the circuit. Ayrton back in front. Behind them, Art and Wang Fei are fighting hammer and nail as they go now up the hill. Ashtube trying to go around the outside of turn 4 from behind, gets a little bit of an elbow in the side of the car for his trouble. He's now vulnerable to Wang Fei, who is going around the outside into turn 6. Can he make that one move? That's quite a move. Wow, Ashtube going backwards. He's hyper aggressive, but it's just not working out. He's getting the worst end of every single exchange. Wang Fei up to 3rd now. Ronan from P8 back up to 5th and attacking Ashtube. And what a restart we've had on our hands. This is incredible. Ashtube down to 4th. Ronan quite high behind him. And Ayrton is actually catching Amaral. Amaral, what a dream restart for him to watch everybody else fighting behind him as he gets these hard tyres up to temperature. away they go then, down the start-finish straight for the 20th time now. We have 15 race laps left to go, which should be fine for everybody now. They should get to the end, but it should be that Amaryl and the Chaos Druid have the tyres they need to see this race out in the most comfortable fashion and possibly the best overall race time. But time will tell on this one if the medium runners will successfully get 18 laps of high racing speed action. Ashtube picked himself back up. He's starting to gap Ronan again, and he's now on the attack behind Wong Fei. Can't quite believe that restart. I can't understand how Chaos Druid, I think he pitted and he's fallen back nearly 40 seconds after the restart. So there must have been a spin and some damage repair or something along those lines. They head down. It's a very, very tight field between first and seventh. Less than a second separate all the drivers. So Ayrton then less than half a second behind Amaryl will get DRS. DRS open. Wong Fei with some good top speed as well. Let's see, will Ronan make a move on Ashtube? He tries. He's giving it a go. Wong Fei actually close to Ayrton there with the slightly newer tyres on the car. And again, Amaryl just probably smiling in the helmet, thinking, I'm so glad these guys are all battling with each other. Really helping his race. So into turn 5 they go. The top 7 cars can all see each other on the main straight, I think. Ronan close behind Ashtube here. ARL down at the back of this group, and he's obviously going to be wanting to make up some ground, especially if anybody reports that pit lane entry. Quite sure how the game even allowed him to reverse on the main track and not get disqualified. He obviously did it. He knows what he's doing. Lap 22 begins with Amaryl ahead of Ayrton. Wong Fei slightly closer to Ayrton behind, and all the cars now within around half a second of each other in the top 7. Chaos Druid touring round quite a bit further behind. Please make sure you subscribe to the Adrenaline Racing League channel and you've liked the video today. If you do want to follow my commentary output or find out how I might commentate on another league for you, you can follow me on Twitter at WebORed5. I must just mention that I'm starting to take offers now for next racing season beginning January 22. And if I can't commentate myself, I can try and find someone among my contacts who might be able to commentate for you. Amaryl leads from Ayrton, Wong Fei, Ashtube, Ronan, Art, ARL33 with Chaos Druid at the back, and probably vulnerable to being lapped here today. We've got 13 race laps left to run for you. Can Amaryl hold on with these hard tyres through the grading phase for himself and into the slow phase for the medium drivers? Wong Fei steps out from behind Ayrton just to show himself in the mirrors. There's no need for engine cooling in a one-off lobby race in this game. I wish that you did have the odd mechanical issue. That would be pretty cool. Ronan, third of a second behind Ashtube, and despite this track having quite a reputation for spreading out the field, after that safety car, that second safety car, where everybody put on new tyres, it's really helped keep the field very close. And this top 7 are serious contenders in our championship, and some seriously quality drivers here. No shade on Chaos Druid, just mentioning the fact that they're all together and they're separated by what is probably 4 seconds overall. A penalty for Amaral is a huge deal, especially with Ayrton just half a second behind. And so 5 seconds of those penalties should get taken off, but Amaral with a 3-second penalty, and nearly the entire field there with penalties. So Amaral just getting on terms with everybody else. Ayrton, I wonder what his situation is in terms of how many warnings he's had and how close he is to a penalty himself. That's going to feature later in our race, though. It'd be nice and neat if he did catch a penalty. I mean, he's been off track so many times, and there he goes again, just in defence, as he takes a wide exit, and we've seen several cars doing that one. I know Wang Fi's quite wise to doing that in different tracks around the world. And now 3/10 behind the race leader. And minus 3 seconds if he can keep it all together like this, though he's on the oldest mediums in the field. So if he's going to get by, he needs to do it pretty damn soon. Wang Fi closing Ayrton. I think those mediums are starting to drop. I think they're starting to feel very, very rough indeed. We saw this on the softs earlier, and obviously someone who gets full use out of their tyres a little bit ahead of everybody else, and perhaps needs to work on some of his tyre saving. Looks to me as if he's looking a lot more mobile under low grip situations, particularly around traction, but we'll see if he can hold on. Amaral goes to the inside. The whole field doing exactly the same thing in order to make a move, and a dive down into turn 1 comes Wang Fi. He sniffs blood in the water in terms of Ayrton, but Wang Fi has spun the car round and smashed the front wing off just on the wrong side of the grip. Now a tiny little reset to track there I happened to spot as well. Wang Fi's going to have to do the whole lap without a front wing. That helps Ayrton just have a focused attack now on Amaral, and let's see what Amaral can do. We've seen him win a race, we've seen him defending positions and gaining positions, and let's see what he has in him. I think he can hold off Ayrton overall, because I don't think these tyres are going to last. But what about the rest of the medium runners? Time will tell, of course. That's why we have another 10 to go. Ashtube just going to the inside to discourage a move into turn 12 because he got a slight mistake through the S's. Ayrton is so close here through the penultimate corner. Ayrton very, very wide, actually touched Ashtube on the way into the corner, just recovering the car. I don't feel like it was deliberate, but Ashtube is going to be vulnerable. So is Ronan behind him. Ronan launching one down the inside. Ashtube trying to close the door. Ronan is slightly behind. That usually spins the inside car round. Ashtube on the outside, which becomes the inside for turn 2. Ronan might try and run this one all the way around, but Ashtube fairly wise to that one. Ronan as much defending from Art as he is attacking Ashtube, and Art is right there with him. Oh dear me, very close on the way into turn 4. Nice message from Lightning. Hope he's enjoying himself. I don't know why he's not racing with us. Again, another driver not showing up for the Friday night race. I'm not saying that they didn't advise us their attendance ahead, but all the old boys who we like to have racing with us, unfortunately, only with us on YouTube tonight. Senna, Lightning, Ivan at the moment. Still good to have friends with us. Oh dear, Art spinning round exactly where we saw Amaral spin his AlphaTauri earlier on. That's obviously a place the AlphaTauris don't like. Art getting that all kinds of wrong into the penultimate corner now. This is a good opportunity to put soft tyres on. Wang Fi's done that and is in clear air, so potentially can run a bit quicker than the rest of these guys stuck behind Amaral at the moment. I wonder if that will pay dividends later. Wang Fi with an opportunity here, despite losing that front wing, to regain a bit of ground. I love how tight the front runners are here, the top 5. I'd say ARL just dropping back a little from this group. All right, Lightning wants me to pronounce it Towery. Very well. I'll try and remember that. Difficult. It's a word that looks like it's pronounced Tory in English, but Towery, I guess, is the correct Italian pronunciation. Why couldn't they stick with Toro Rosso? That was so much easier. Amaral is leading this race by a quarter of a second still from Ayrton on 13 lap old mediums. Is it time to come in the pits, Ayrton, or are you going on by again? Amaral just able, I think, to spend his ERS on the way out of the final corner, and it's just enough to hold off the other drivers. Let's see. Ayrton is going to try and get around the outside. You've seen Ayrton diving into turn 2. If he gets even a sniff on the inside line into turn 2, he'll have another go. He's just about perfected that. He's had lots of practice launching the car down the inside. So Amaral needs to use the middle of the track here and just keep the rest of these guys cheering up their mediums. What a defensive drive so far from Amaral this has been, when everybody has spun off at different points. Amaral included, in fact, but he finds himself back in the front of the grid, and he's determined to stay there and get his second win of the championship. Ayrton in second place, Ashtube third, Ronan fourth, ARL fifth, and has caught back up to the group. Wong Fei, a long way, Art and Wong Fei quite a way back from this group after spins of their own. Wong Fei, I can't quite believe he stayed in the race, the amount of damage he put on that car. Presumably has got floor damage as well as a brand new front wing. And there goes Amaral. Same tactic again. Spend down the start-finish straight, and it's enough to keep the rest of the field behind. In fact, Ashtube looking super close to Ayrton here as they head up the hill once again. Fastest lap for Art with new tyres on. I do think Wong Fei, it is a funny name for a Swedish driver. I don't know if it has a Swedish meaning if you split it between Wong and Fei, but it does have a slightly oriental feel to it, doesn't it? Ronan is in fourth place. What happened to the other half of the grid? You want an update? Well, Branch got pole position and got bullied out of the way in the first lap down to P6. He recovered the car up to 5th and then unfortunately binned it coming out of turn 4. Ivan had an issue. He can fill you in. Ivan can fill you in with his race and how that ended, because I'm afraid I temporarily forget that. I think it was a spin for Ivan and some damage. We saw Rents drop out. I think again another spin. It's been a very low grip experience for the drivers here. Flexi on lap 2 I think was out. A similar problem. I'm pretty sure the answer to everybody's retirements was some sort of spin. I don't think we've had a lot of actual deliberate errors or deliberate crashes. Oh, up comes Ronan. Will he have a go here? Wow, almost got underneath Ashtube there. That was mighty close on the way in, and the middle, so the second, third, fourth and fifth cars now just fighting among themselves, which is music to Amaral's ears. Lightning, you need to check out a typo in a recent comment on the Discord. I can't really talk about it, but yeah, it was pretty magical on the Division 1 paddock. So the start of lap 30 with 5 to go. The medium runners now presumably starting to really struggle. Wong Fei and Art still some distance away from them on the track map, you can see. So they really need to catch them if they want to try and force them into a pit stop. I don't think it's going to happen with 5 to go. The medium runners are just going to struggle around. How much longer will the hard tyres run than the mediums in a comfortable grip position? Here comes Amaryl then, and he's now catching the Williams driver, sorry, the Alpine driver, Chaos Druid. Wang Fei apparently has got floor damage, but is still driving around. In fact, he's not far off the pace. And as Lightning says, yes, that is a very, very GG performance if you're driving around with floor damage. It's often the end of everybody's decision to retire. Amaryl gets by Chaos Druid through rather than going around him, just goes through him and deals with the dirty air. So here he goes again then, 25% on the battery. Button being held down till we get to about 11. I think he maybe held it a bit longer than he needed to on that one. Ayrton with a good run with DRS. And Amaryl, Lightning's been in and has found the typo. I'm afraid I can't repeat it on stream. I shouldn't really talk about it, but there you go. Lap 32, Amaryl. A third of a second ahead of Ayrton, and Ayrton has finally caught that penalty, which means we're all on equal terms apart from Art. Disregard Amaryl's 5-second penalty. That was from being hit by Wang Fei earlier on, so under the safety car, and Wang Fei was the driver behind, so I fully expect Amaryl's 5-second penalty to be taken off, and that should equalise everybody, unless they get any more, of course. Amaryl, 3 laps to go, looking like he might have the measure of Ayrton here, able to counteract Ayrton's speed and difference in top speed with the DRS using his battery. There he goes again, spend, down to about, oh no, he spent even further. Usually it's down to about 10%. He's let it drop down to 5 or 6, and that's going to stop his harvesting being quite as successful. Ashtube could be Wang Fei's saviour here, and Ashtube now on the offensive versus Ayrton. Tries to go up the inside. Very different lines through that corner from Ayrton and Ashtube on that lap. Up the hill to turn 4. Take a little bit of that outside curb to maximise the to straighten the corner out as much as possible. Ronan closing on ARL as they head towards turn 6 and 7. ARL taking himself off the track in order to maintain a position. I don't think there was contact, but they were so close together. I think ARL was somewhat forced into that, yeah, ARL with a possible steward investigation to come after a moment. Lightning, you might want to check that out. ARL's pit lane entry under the safety car. That was quite interesting. Before the video goes into processing, at least. We've got 2 laps to go as Amaryl leads. Ayrton, Ashtube, ARL, Ronan, Art, Wang Fei and Chaos Druid. 8 drivers remain from a 14 starting grid. There goes Ayrton down the inside. He's risking it all. Amaryl's got a good run here. He's still got that inside line for turn 2, but Ayrton with a much better run. Oh, a tiny touch between the drivers, and Amaryl holding on just about. I can't really rule that one. I didn't have a favourable camera angle, which is partly my fault, I have to admit. Yeah, Amaryl holding on. At least he was slightly behind, but had the inside of the corner. Ayrton staying on track, just about. Tell me if you think that was fair or over the top racing there. Ashtube P3. These guys getting so close now. 1 lap remaining after they cross the line the next time. Ashtube's got barely any battery left. He's getting some under braking here. And let's see. Amaryl very good at harvesting around the rest of the lap. Going to wait till he's not rear limited and presses the button, tries to gap Ayrton, who is now derating and could be vulnerable to Ashtube. That light really helping. Ronan goes down the inside of turn 1 on ARL and has the low grip inner line on the way out, but just about holds on to that one as Ashtube trying to get the inside line here on Ayrton, and we know Ashtube will go around the outside of anybody any day long. So Ash then in very close here. It's the final lap. Will Amaral hold on? It looks to be that way at this stage. I would imagine Ayrton's going to have a question to ask the stewards of Amaral's driving into turn 2 there last time, but it was Amaral's lead that Ayrton was trying to go around the outside. I don't think anyone can make any kind of statement at the moment about what real life rules are. And wow, okay, Ashtube goes down the inside, the gap closes. It was always going to close, and Ashtube loses out big time in that battle to Ayrton. Ayrton in no mood to drop another place. Amaral, bear in mind that 5-second penalty will be removed. Amaral wins for the second time in ARL in Hungary from Ayrton. Ronan picks up a podium there in 3rd place. ARL hanging on into 4th place, sorry, and Ashtube coming home 4th after that accident into turn 12 that will presumably be investigated. We've got Art in 6th place, Wong Fei, a brave and determined drive round to the end after that spectacular crash coming out of turn 1. Wong Fei brings the car home towards the end. Chaos Druid has been lapped, but after 35 racing laps, that was your Hungarian Grand Prix at ARL. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. You've liked the video, please, before you go anywhere, and then you'll be here for the next time we go racing. I don't think I'll be here for anybody next week, unfortunately, but if we arrange a commentator in the stream, it'll be this time next week or 2 weeks time. But like I say, bear in mind Amaral is the true top step driver. So this really is Ronan and there's your podium. Just imagine some different overalls being worn, because Amaral, in my view, takes the win here. Amaral from P9 on the grid, a spectacular defensive race, maybe one question mark moment, but Amaral takes the win here tonight. That 5-second penalty will get removed, I have no doubt. Amaral from P9 to P1, and congratulations to him. We've got Ayrton in 2nd, Ronan in 3rd, ARL in 4th, and Ashtube in 5th after sending it into turn 12 and it didn't work out. Art is 6th, Wong Fei 7th, Chaos Druid in 8th. Wong Fei had an opportunity here to try and get up the grid while his championship rival Sparks was missing, and unfortunately won't get many points for 8th. Rents, Branch, Alex, Ivan, Beast and Flexi all retired and will go home with no points. Branch is his mindset's on Jeddah already. He thinks he's going to be quick and strong there. So I'm just trying to see if there's any chat that would be useful to anybody, or anything clean enough that I can read out. A little bit of argument going back and forth, but I do have reasonable confidence that Amaral took his 2nd win tonight and will presumably head his way up the championship standings. I'll update you on the championship standings and any steward results next time I'm broadcasting, but for now on Adrenaline Racing League, thank you so much for all your patience. Thank you for your engagement in the stream, and do drop a comment if there's a special moment or a timestamp you want to point out, or you want to drop a highlight from your racing seat into the video coverage, then do that as well. Thanks to ARL33 for all of his efforts tonight. It's been a rough night fighting with lobbies, and he brought the car home in 5th all the same. But thanks to ARL, thanks to everyone involved in running the team. Let's try and get our attendance up and reliable a little bit more, please, guys. And from me, Webbo Red 5 on Twitter, I will catch you on the next race day.